Okay, welcome to live chat. What's going on, folks? So I'm using my phone, and I'm not using some stupid Wi-Fi network. I'm now using the secure network brought to you by Verizon Wireless. Hey, I need to pay them one day. Yeah, so we'll see how this goes. I don't know how long I'll be on. Hope all y'all having a wonderful day. But I guess we should do some updates and stuff like that. I will be going back to my regular schedule since I feel 100% at this point, starting Monday. And that will be occurring for 5 days at least. I'm going to try to also include Saturday. So hopefully we'll have Dominion lore, Romulan lore, the Division lore, as well as some Star Wars going on. I'll also be attempting to do some live streams. I'm going to try to do a schedule for you guys that are quarantined and that just want to watch as much stuff as possible because you're bored. And unfortunately, I just haven't been able to do that because, well, my house has been inaccessible by humanity, and I haven't been feeling that well. So, oh my God, it's the end of the world. Oh my God. See, this is what patrons pay for. It's this top-notch quality right here. Look at that. Hold on. God, I'm sexy. All right. So, also, there's going to be a pretty dire video on the end of Saturday or on Sunday. I'm telling you because you guys are in on the joke. You'll know it when you see it. Trek hate leads to suffering. Suffering leads to dark Trek. I do not like the way the phones do this. Anyway, so for those who don't know, I am actually officially will be moving on the 2nd, which means no computer internet access. And I thought, because I'm not going to be able to do anything, because I'm going to be moving, can't be editing videos or anything like that, what the hell? I should have fun with some people and look at my comments and watch people go crazy that Sunday. So that's what I'll be doing that day. Now, one thing I didn't want to talk about for a second with you guys is all of this hate that seems to be coming for Trek. And I honestly don't understand it to a degree, but we see it in like everything. All of the fandoms, at least on YouTube and the internet, because Twitter is like the bastion of civilized and rational discourse, as you guys know. But with Doctor Who, with Marvel, with Star Trek, it seems like no matter what they do, there's not only a dislike for it, but a visceral hate. And I don't necessarily understand why it gets down to that. But there was a really good question. What's the difference between Discovery and coronavirus? What's the difference between water and being wet? See, that's what I'm saying. I can do jokes like that, but I don't necessarily want someone to die. And I do wonder if it's because of YouTube and it's because of our society. I don't know. Again, it's hard to judge things as like a kid. But it seems like this type of rhetoric, at least in fandoms, didn't necessarily exist. Maybe it did. I don't know. There's no reason for Trek hate. I may seem idealistic if we're all fans, like it or don't, but visceral hatred is pointless. Yeah, I mean, I could sit here and give you the reasons I think, which is, and here's the intriguing piece on it. By the way, the reason I put Orville in there is I'll be having some of the showrunners, or at least some people who are a part of the show from Orville on. People get angry. People get angry because they have a sense of ownership in it. We feel owed something by the franchise, and they don't give us exactly what we want. Yeah, remind me of that in a second. We'll come back to that. I think part of it is that YouTube and a lot of, well, there's a couple things. It's funny here. I honestly, the more I look into this and the more I go through and get my education and everything, it honestly, Patrick Willems seems to more and more have somewhat of a point when he talks about like critics and people who do it professionally. Because I think YouTube, the way YouTube works is extreme emotion is what people like. Extreme emotion is what gets people going. If I want, if I make, if I jump on here and I get really pissed off, I can make more money. I can make a lot more money. People will give me all kinds of super chats if I'm just going crazy. And I try to be me. So if I go crazy, it's not based on if I'm going to make anything or not. I try to be who I am. But what I think happens is people will get on and they'll have some kind of extreme emotion. They'll either get really, really pissed off about something, which is a lot easier to do, or they'll get super unrealistically excited about it. And that gets a large following. It does. It's just the way we are as human beings. And so the person just continues to do that, right? And a lot of people say that it's done on purpose, that these hate trains are done by people who are just, they're knowingly perpetrating it. And I wonder if it's not that, but it's just a circle. Like they saw something, they got really passionate about it, did a video really passionate about it, saw that it got a lot of views, and so that was really the modus operandi, right? And I don't think that that is nearly as devious as people let on. Let's see, Ryan, you said something. And this one I think is interesting too. It says Ryan Sonnenberg, as they say in the French. People get angry because don't you dare, don't you. It was trying to fade on me. People get angry because they have a sense of ownership in it. We feel owed something by the franchise, and they don't give us exactly what we want. I forget what that comes from, but there is a. It's not. I don't want to call it a mental. It's not mental illness. It's not. There's a disconnect where you begin to. You begin to connect on an unreasonable level with what you are watching or involved with. Ironically, this happens with me. Believe it or not, I can only imagine how much worse it is for people who are attractive. Where I have this interaction with you guys. I mean, and I consider you guys, friends, people I hang out with, the audience, good folk, as they say in the Greek. It is largely one-sided, though. Like, so you guys will be listening to me, and you'll get to learn a lot about me, or at least what shows on screen. And I have absolutely almost no idea who you guys are. I mean, those who comment, I do, but the vast majority of people don't comment. And so people interact with me like they know me, and I've never met this person in my life. And it's fine. I understand to a degree. But I think that happens with, I think that happens on shows too. Like we watch these shows, we binge them because of Netflix. And so when we see it go in a way that we don't like, it's literally like watching a friend betray you. And it gets to the point where you get so angry that you have to just start blaming or getting mad at people, What's going on, Track Yards? Hope you're doing well. So I wonder if that's like a huge part of it. And it goes back to my conversation with Patrick Willow, or not my conversation with Patrick. See, that's even a thing of it. A video done by Patrick Willems where he talks about how people who critics have a better understanding than just regular YouTube people who get on. I think there is some actual truth to that. Now, that doesn't devalue YouTube critics or people who don't have degrees or anything like that. But I do think it helps add a layer of understanding of what you're getting, you know? And this is going back to, so kind of to what Zamiko said, and then someone else said something, I can't find it yet. For what it's worth, stop fading. For what it's worth, I feel like people who go to outrage reactions repeatedly in order to get views and make money are hurting their mental health in the long run. I wonder if, now obviously there are people who do that on purpose, but I don't know that it's something that maybe even is aware of. For those who watched my reactions when it came to Discovery, like when Discovery first came out, I was very, very critical. I mean, it was pretty rough. And there were some things going on in the background, but that still doesn't necessarily excuse a lot of what I was doing. And I caught myself at one point, and then had to stand back and take a real deep look at if the way I was reacting was legitimate, I guess. Because you cannot like something. You can be very strong against something. Like there are things that really irritate me because I do feel like it's a betrayal. I don't know that I want to use betrayal, but it's from someone who either doesn't care or didn't watch the franchise. But do I need to get like so angry about it? You know, I don't know. Rede to right, Rede. Stop. The hate comes from poor writing. Discovery has bad characters. One is a Mary Sue, and the rest are very two-dimensional and have no growth, with the exception of Lorca and Pike. So, should you hate somebody for that? Is my question. Is that hate worthy? Maybe it is. Maybe it's worth something worthy of hate. Oh no. But the question is it hate worthy? And I think that really kind of emphasizes it, you know? I think in modern society, and to be very honest, I think in modern society, and to be very honest, the kind of people that can get hung up on such extend as how Star Trek fans absorb Star Trek have trouble coping with disappointment. I'm trying to understand that paragraph. I think in modern society, okay, let's just remove that part. That's tripping on. I think in modern society, the kind of people that can get hung up to such an extent, there it is, as how Star Trek fans absorb Star Trek have trouble coping with disappointment. That's everybody, though. I mean, you can sit there and say that, but look at politics. I mean, right now especially. It's just, you know, this is a part of what we see. I mean, I get so irritated at, and I'm not going to get too political, but I get so irritated at watching politics, like on both sides. The frustrating thing about it is that people may say things that have legitimate concerns, but they say it or go too far that it makes you defend things that you don't want to. Star Trek is the perfect way, a perfect example. Star Trek Discovery. Discovery has so many problems, but people will get so upset about things that you literally have to sit down and defend it. Like, for instance, people will talk about, well, you know, let me think of a good one. People sit down and get so upset and act like continuity issues have never been an issue with Trek, where Discovery breaks so many continuity issues. Now, I've said this before. Basically, Discovery took all the worst aspects of TNG, DS9, and Voyager up to 11. Like the continuity issues, which were amazingly bad in TNG, they bumped that up to 11 in Discovery. The darkness, the grittiness that we see in DS9 and Voyager, they bumped that up to 11. The writing needing to have a character be good so much that you turn that character into a bad guy. That's Voyager writing 101. Discovery was awesome. The only thing that sucked about it was the lawsuit. I don't think the lawsuit really did much, honestly. They lost. Not Discovery lost. The party who attacked him lost. I forget his name. As someone who supports the Phantom, I think name calling on the Phantom, I don't even know what the Phantom is. I think name calling on both sides needs to stop. Star Trek Discovery fans should have said, sorry you didn't like it, but good luck, and I hope there's something else I'm sure you're going to say. What did Trekyard say? I think Commander Cockings is here, which I'll be doing his fan fiction soon. That's why that's why we focus on calling out the good and the bad. Going full hate gets views, but just makes you lose the argument, as nothing is 100% bad. We miss on the views for not going full negative. Ultimately, that mentality eats itself, though. People who really thrive on negative reviews will have their audience eat them. It will happen. I've seen it in 2 different communities. The worst was a community that was called what the hell is it? Blood Sports, which was just a train wreck. I would not watch that if you're not the faint of heart or you don't like a lot of stupid discussions. Oh, it was so stupid. I will say, hope you guys don't mind a meeting. I'm actually in a hotel. What was I looking for? Like, I hate the argument, though, don't like it, don't watch it. And I know you didn't mean it in a bad way, Johnston, or I don't even know if that's what you were meaning to say. But I think that the you don't like it, don't watch it is excessively reductive. I think it's like, for instance, I don't think you should hurt yourself or anything like that. But like for me, for instance, and I say this, a lot of people get upset or they think I'm somehow a fake person. I don't know that I'd be watching Picard if I didn't do this for a living. I honestly don't know. Picard has such a neutral stance with me with negative standouts that I'm not convinced that I would watch it. If I stopped doing this today, I would probably watch the end of this season to see how it ends. But I'm not sure that I would watch it as a viewer. I would sure as hell, if you don't like and learn to code. That's hilarious. You're stupid. If I wasn't doing this for a living, I sure as hell wouldn't give Discovery another shot. Not in 1 million years, like at all. And I think that that generally is the normal response. However, if you loved something or something like formed your being, wanting to watch it in hopes of it getting better isn't necessarily a negative thing, I don't think. I don't know. So, like an example I would give is if you remember from X-Files, I think is her name Scully? Scully, from what I've read, has inspired a lot of women to become more analytical, to move into other fields, right? Take the men's job. And if they redid X-Files and Scully all of a sudden became like this ultra anti-SJW character, like a person who would not doesn't even like the term feminist, and has even these radical, what I consider negative, but I mean whatever, that maybe she's in the wrong field, that women really shouldn't extend out. I can understand how that could hurt people, or people would not like that, and how they would want to push against it, and even point out how negative it is, and watch it to point out how bad it is. That's an extreme example, but I think that you can see the same thing in Picard, especially Picard. Discovery not so much, but especially Picard. So, well, congratulations on being pregnant, Headless. But yeah, when you watch Picard, if it's not the person you grew up with, then I can still see it, right? I don't know. I'm trying to do content for you. People are sick, and I am an entertainer. Don't you dare follow me. It is my job to make you feel better, personally. Personally, make you feel better. That's what I'm here for. I'm unkempt because I'm so worried about you. That person. Yeah. There's a person outside watching me. Okay. I guess I just made someone else's day. Telma, I agree. It's not that simple. I don't like the show so far, and I still watch it. I watch the show because I want to support it, and hope it'll improve. There's kind of an argument there, too, that, you don't like it, you don't watch it. If you don't... The way the world works is that if something isn't watched, it just won't be... it just won't... It won't continue. And there are things that, maybe people watch it because they hope that they'll make something that others want to watch, That maybe you don't like this season of Picard, but if you support it now, it could get better, I guess. I don't know that I'd do that. I honestly think that if something needs to die, then it needs to die, right? I don't know that Trek has any more good stories to tell. I mean, maybe it does. I could be wrong. But I do think that a universe and a story has a natural ending to it, And I wonder, because things go on too long. I mean, look at all kinds of shows, like The Office, there's just shows, you guys know how it works. Ultimately, stories have natural endings, and if you don't give them those natural endings, then it's not what it was, And a lot of people have gotten into arguments with me about that. And a lot of people are so stupid. Like, just because I think Star Trek might have a natural ending doesn't mean that we shouldn't continue talking about it or celebrating it or things like that. I don't know. I'm looking forward to my fan fiction. I'm not going to be able to do that for ever until, Corona stops being a thing. Now it's to the point where people will completely write you off just as fast as the SJWs. They complain about if you disagree with them. It's come full circle. Well, that's just tribalism, my friend. That is just how tribalism works. That's one of the sucky things. Trek Yards, if you're still listening, you know my pain on that. If you're nuanced or you're middle of the road, that's a real easy way to go into the ether. I don't think any major player on either side has really said anything negative or had a go at me. But I think I'm largely ignored too. Which I'm actually okay with. But that's less interactivity, Neoteric Bedlam. You can ring my bell. Disco died for a reason. Don't let bring down Discovery 2. What? Disco died for a reason? Don't let bring down Discovery 2. What does that even mean? Do you even English, bro? I think the trouble may just be the internet. The original series would not survive the internet, and so none of the discussion would exist. I wonder about that too. I do wonder if this just hasn't amplified... I wonder if this just has an amplified natural human mentality, and if we weren't always like this. Because if you look at the emails and the letters that they got, it's really similar to what you see today. It's just very amplified, And I wonder if that's a part of it. If, as you said, it wouldn't survive. I know if Gene Roddenberry had Twitter, it wouldn't have survived. There's no way. That man was a very toxic individual, from what I understand. Let me rephrase that. That man could be very toxic, especially to his detractors. And so I don't know that CBS would continue doing if Roddenberry had Twitter. Because he could get very, very visceral. which I know. Lore Reloaded, you're Switzerland. Now, see, that's the interesting thing. I'm not necessarily Switzerland. I have opinions, very very nuanced opinions, and I don't let tribal nature affect that, because I am not neutral on Discovery. I am trying to be optimistic and positive about season 3. But I am completely and utterly honest that season 1 and season 2 have destroyed any hope for that series. I have a very low expectation. And that's what I try to tell people. Like when I'm going to be talking about Discovery, or looking at different aspects. I think I could keep neutral on the lore necessarily. But if I'm talking about the show or breaking it down, you don't have an unbiased source. I don't like season 1 and season 2. So if that bothers you, you need to know that up front, you know? Now I'm going to try to be positive about it, but it is what it is. But by that token, I'm really neutral on Picard. I honestly think most people, if you can just accept that is that person? Oh, I thought that person was back. If you can just accept it's different writing, if you can just accept that this is for a different niche audience, that TNG style, for sure, DS9 style probably can't survive, then it really paints it in a different light. The thing I hate is that it goes both ways. I said this on Twitter, and if you haven't followed me, go to twitter.com/Lore Reload. I can really tell you, mostly without a doubt, what someone's opinion on a video overall in general is going to be on an episode before it comes out. And while watching the episodes, like when I was watching the last Picard episode, I literally, there were points in my head where I said, oh, detractors are going to talk about this and say this doesn't make sense or this is horrible. Or people who love it are going to overemphasize this point. Mild spoilers for Picard coming up in like 3, 2, 1. I haven't seen it yet, and maybe I'm wrong, but you guys tell me, for those who have seen detractors of Picard, how pissed off did they get at the Vulcan thing? Like, for me, that's irritating. The mind meld. Because that's not how mind melds work. I can't just, I'm trying to think. You literally can't study into a physical impossibility, right? And so that irritated me, but I imagine they went off to hell and back about that. There was a question here. Is Red Letter Media right that the latest episode of Picard heavily ripped off Mass Effect? So that irritates. So first off, Red Letter Media was not the first one to say it. Red Letter Media is the last one to say it. Channels all over have been talking about the Mass Effect. So here's the thing. I don't think it's as big of a... talk to you later, Peter. I don't think there's as big of a comparison as a lot of people like to say that there is. But everything's derivative. That's the thing that really frustrates me. Everything is derivative. Do you think I magically came up with an idea for the Lore Reloaded? Do you think it's just happenstance that I make a channel that has the analytics of Trek Yards or Space Dock, the attitude of SF Debris, the reviews of other channels? Do you think that just randomly happened? Like I'm a fucking genius? Is that what it is? Am I a genius, guys? Did I come up with this all by myself? Or did I see other people do something and think that I could do it in my own way and wanted to have fun with it? So, Is it Mass Effect 3? I don't see it as Mass Effect 3 as much as I see it as Battlestar Galactica. But everything is derivative. You literally cannot create something original in this world anymore. So, and what's funny is a lot of the people, Red Letter Media included, praise the next generation that did nothing but steal ideas. Did nothing but steal ideas in individual episodes. Yeah, and Cerstis is even beating me to it, because I was going to say that. Who the hell do you think the Borg was an original idea? Seriously? The entire concept of the original series was stolen from stolen, I don't think it's stolen, was modified from other television series. So I don't personally see it as much from the Mass Effect, but if you think it's the Mass Effect thing, it's derivative. Why are you getting so? It is, and again, it is not a beat for beat either. At all. There it is. There it is. Picard copies Mass Effect. Mass Effect copied Star Wars. Star Wars copied Star Trek. And we've come full circle. Hi, Lore. Question for you. The premise of Picard centers around data. Do you find it odd that out of years of service that Picard has, the hundreds that have died under his command, it's all about data? No, I don't. And here's why. First off, Data was, at the end of the day, ultimately a friend. He was a part of the bridge crew. And while you can say that Picard had hundreds of officers or served with hundreds of officers, Data actually stood out. Data was with him for, 10 years? I mean, if you're going by seasons, every season a year, plus the movies, 9 to 10 years as a part of the bridge crew. And Data was a part of Picard's overall arc, where Picard went from being this steadfast officer who who kept arm's length from people. Because if you watch The Next Generation, that was a lot of his arc. I know there are some episodes where he's more friendly or even has girlfriends and stuff, but for the most part, he kept people at arm's length, right? And so he kept people at arm's length. And then at the last episode, the series finale, he completes his arc and accepts the main bridge crew, Data, Riker, Deanna, as family. Because he sits down and he plays cards with them, and he realizes that they have to be good friends. He has to accept people. He has to have a family. On top of that, Data gave his life so Picard should live. He beamed over and killed himself to save Picard. So do I think that Picard would have a close relationship with Data, even if he's had hundreds of officers that he's served with? Absolutely. Even if we didn't have TNG showing them becoming close, which we do, you don't really forget the person that saves your life. And so I think, and especially if you have survivor's guilt or if someone saved my life, I would probably rewrite our relationship in my head. That seems only human to me. So, what's up, Telma? I don't think that's a big deal. Now let's address Kevin. I normally wouldn't think much about the Mass Effect thing, but when combined with a previous claim of stolen ideas from games, it starts to look a little more questionable. So that is one of the most frustrating comments. Not you specifically, because as everyone knows, it's more ideas than anything else. But that is one of the most frustrating comments I see. First off, they lost. He got his ass whooped in court. I mean, just down one way and up another. There is no evidence that there was any copying. I mean, by the literal definitions of copyright, just up one way and down another. It was like, I mean, seriously, the judge should have pulled up a TV and played that Simpsons clip where it's like, leave him alone, he's already dead. You know which one I'm talking about. So yeah, no, that is just frustratingly wrong. The other thing to it is everything is derivative. Even if they lost that and they 100% stole from that game, you're not stealing from Mass Effect because Mass Effect does not own the overall concept of, humans exist, humans create AI, humans fear AI, humans destroy that AI, humans create a warning to not create AI. Humans then forget that they didn't create AI. Humans create AI, and then humans that went over here come over and try to kill them because they created AI. It is Isaac Asimov had ideas like this. It is not original. Mass Effect stole it too. It is very I am in a hotel. There are people walking back and forth that I can hear. Exactly. You can only copyright specific stories. You can't copyright story ideas. Trackyard said something I think was very astute. For me, it's just weird or bad that they had 2 AI-style threats that can destroy the galaxy 2 seasons in a row. It's very similar. That reveals to me Hollow for Picard. See, that's what I'm saying. That one of the reasons me and Trackyards really do have similar thoughts when it comes to this. I would agree that it's incredibly bad story writing. It's incredibly bad story writing because first off, all Trek does now is universe-ending stories. That's all they do. Universe-ending stories. That's all Trek does these days. And you have, and just like they said, just 2 series in a row. That's just the end. It's bad writing. Thank you so much for the support, Zimako. Picard was the person that Data always used as a reference and moral compass during his quest to understand humanity. He even says this to Spock. Yeah, so the fact they had a connection. I actually really like this place. I don't know. I'm on the fence. This actually isn't the city I live in. And I make I don't really hide my stuff because it's just going to go out, though. But, I don't know. You guys, let me ask you this. Do you think I should show you this hotel, given that I actually don't live here? So if you figured out the hotel, you're not in the city. You're not even close to the city that I actually live in. But what do you think? Not just a room tour. Should I do a hotel tour? This hotel is actually very swanky. I like this hotel. I think it's pretty cool. How many days is now you're there? Today's my last day. My house was completely trashed. Yeah, but then what if there's a stalker? We'll be weird of me walking out. I actually like this. It's a Hilton hotel, which is interesting because Hilton's usually known for. I'll show it in a second. Hilton is usually known for like extravagance and stuff like that, and I'm not paying anything because I'm fucking broke because I'm moving. But this is a very basic hotel, but it's really nice. It's like a college hotel. Am I afraid of being stalked in a country where people can buy guns and I have had my life threatened? Yes. I'm not like crazy scared about it, but I am in a situation where people get upset for what I say. And also, you are able to buy guns in my nation. And even if I wasn't scared for my own personal safety, I am. So is that you, Firebrand? There was a person that kept walking past. I have two daughters that I am concerned about. So yes, while I don't hide where I am because that'll just make people look, and so I'm just honest. I live in Tennessee. I don't necessarily give a huge amount of identifiers. But again, this isn't my city, so I guess you guys can come and destroy it anyway. The cough is more dangerous at the moment. Yeah. Let me see. Hold on. Is there? I don't think there's anything too embarrassing here. Yeah. So this is my. Can I turn the thing right? Oh, I can. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Yeah. So yeah. The whole AI revolting, if it did not start with Star Trek, it born around the same time. Yeah, you like my shirt? I'll show you guys this place. They're going to think I'm crazy. But that's okay. They don't pay my bills. We're doing a walk around, folks. I just want to thank all of y'all from He Billy Bob. No cat fills. You know, I get that a lot. Like, if I'm going to make t-shirts, it has to be with a cat. Nope, I'm not using Wi-Fi. I am using my unlimited internet service. Do you see a lot of the budget for Picard being spent in the last episode? I don't think. I think they spent the majority of it right here. So anyway, these people don't think I'm crazy. Not crazy. I'm a lovable internet hobo. I appreciate that. Thank you. So they got sound booths. See, right here. And just look. Yeah, that hallway, right? Right here. Now, according to that sign, they can't hear me. This booth, look at that. Oh, that is horrible lighting. Oh my God, I'm such an ugly person. If we get a 3-tiered battle, maybe? No, yeah, I hope they do that. On that point, I do hope they have Starfleet show up. I think they're going to, but honestly, I could see them now. Did I forget my pants? I did. Oh my God, I forgot my pants. That was. Whew. God, that lighting is horrible. I look like the Papa John's guy. My connection is flaking a bit. It's not supposed to flake. All right. Not the current season. Definitely future seasons for Star Trek, yeah. See, how cool is that? Huh. Is it impacting anybody else? Great sound, though. Fantastic. And then we go over here. Got foosball. See? Ooh. I'm stupid. I hate these kinds of videos. I could not be a traveling vlogger by any instance. Then we got CNN, because I guess they're liberal, because of Hilton. I don't know. And then the Resistance. Look at this. Look. Don't hate. Don't hate. Yeah. Don't even act. The quality is perfect. It's fantastic. All right. Y'all make me tired. I do what you want me to do, and then you get mad. Don't forget to wash your hands after all this doing out. Yeah. I do need to do that, don't I? Anyway. A weighty hate. The Space Flowers didn't match the series. A lot of people get upset about the Space Flowers. What the hell are those? Huh. A lot of people get upset about the Space Flowers. I don't. I mean, if you've ever watched The Next Generation, you know that they did all kinds of crazy fighters and stuff like that. Like the first, what is it? The first episode of The Next Generation. The first episode of The Next Generation had jellyfish. Jellyfish. There you go. So yeah, a lot of people get upset at those flower things, but I think it was just consistent. There was at least 8 people in there, all watching me, by the way. My complaint in Star Trek is, where is the Lacars gone? They still use Lacars, it's just different. If you're talking about the LCD panel interface, I really think it's cool because they were talking about 3D and Trek, like the 3D interfaces. I think it's cool they went that way. Thanks for the support, Cherie. Space flowers are absolutely fine. They're synth organics. Of course, they could grow their own defenses. I could see that. The flowers reminded me of the bugs blasting the ships in orbit in Starship Troopers. Yeah, that was my thing. The holographics were probably 3D Lacars. Also, Picard has been non-Starfleet, so they may not use the Lacars. I would love to see some Starfleet vessels. I hope they do. I hope Starfleet shows up and just absolutely begins assisting the Romulan. I think that's where they're going to go. I don't know. I don't know what the writing is going to be like. I can't tell with them. But if this was classic Star Trek, what's going to happen is the Romulans are going to show up. Stuff is going to look bad. All of a sudden, a fleet of Starfleet vessels comes through, assists the organics, begins having conversations with them. They reverse all of their opinions on synthetic life. And the world keeps spinning. I think that's what's going to happen. Well, if it was classic TNG. I don't know if it's not. All right, guys. I kind of just wanted to do something. I don't know that I'll have a video out today. But for the next 4 or 5 days, I will definitively. And then on Sunday, I'm going to be having a troll video, which you should not pay attention to if you're watching this. But it's going to seem dire. It's not involving the coronavirus or anything like that. But it's going to be absolutely accurate, too. You just got to listen to the phrasing. And then I'll probably be off for 3 or 4 days until internet goes to my new place. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you on the next.